Let's talk about the film Bride, written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, who's also an actress and a very damn good actress at that. I have seen this movie. We have to make a fundamental decision right now. Have we got the right to call a movie trash, garbage, and bad because we don't agree with the commentary? Have we got the right to call a movie bad, trash, and garbage because that commentary fundamentally hurts our feelings? Have we got the right to call a movie bad or trash or garbage because basically the commentary of a movie is like we feel like it's attacking us? No, we don't. Because a film's commentary has nothing to do whether it's a good or a bad movie. You knew the movie you were coming to. You didn't have to watch this feminist commentary, but you did. So I don't necessarily agree with the commentary within the movie, but I love the film's unconventional nature. Listen, we're fighting for the integrity of this industry. We're complaining about constant adaptations and revivals and reboots, and I know this is seemingly kind of the Bride of Frankenstein, but it's still very fresh and unconventional and artistically interesting. I don't think anyone can doubt that. People will try and say it's not. It's a bit like calling, MAGA calling Robert De Niro a bad actor because he hates Donald Trump and speaks against Donald Trump. Robert De Niro doesn't become a bad actor because you don't agree with him. Maggie's movie doesn't become trash or garbage because the commentary hurts your feelings and it makes you feel as a man targeted. Let's get that absolutely clear. You don't have to like this movie if it bored you, if you thought it was crap. Apparently people left in the middle of this movie, but who left? Men? Because they were hurt and felt attacked by the commentary. I get it. And I've said this before, commentary in films today is too on the nose. They're not very good at being a little more gentle with the commentary. They want to smash you over their head with it just in case you don't get it. There's a little film in 1987 starring Jodie Foster that won her an Oscar, her first Oscar, which was called The Accused. The Accused is about Sarah Tobias, who is gang raped in a bar, a club, and they get away with it because the district attorney does a deal. Sarah understandably isn't happy about this, so then the district attorney, her lawyer, her solicitor decide to prosecute the people who cheered and clapped, who made sure the rape happened. It's a brilliant movie, but it doesn't blatantly attack men. But there's lots of commentary about rape in the movie. Do you get it? They're very clever about their commentary in the movie. This film, like many films and TV these days, its commentary is blatant because what's happened is the industry has become very politically fanatical. And everyone outside of the industry has become very politically fanatical, especially in America. It's a hugely fanatical place. But I don't think you can call a movie trash or garbage or bad or downgrade it on Rotten Tomatoes just because the commentary hurts you. I think you've got to be a little bit more deep and have more self-control than that. But this is the situation we're in. This is why I gave the Robert De Niro is a bad actor thing from MAGA as an example. This movie is hated because of its commentary. Because its commentary is very, very aggressive. Apparently, even too aggressive for Miss Grace Randolph, who would normally applaud a feminist movie. It's interesting, they loved it when Barbie did it. Yeah? And other movies have done it. But Maggie has hit the hammer on the nose here. It's way on the nose. And people are angry about it. But here's the thing. If we try and silence somebody's artistic expression, because MAGA keep on talking about, freedom of speech. Well, what about Maggie's freedom of speech and her artistic expression. Just because we don't agree with the commentary doesn't mean she doesn't have the right to her own artistic expression. This is not just about feminism here. Next time a writer-director makes a movie about pacifism, or a writer-director makes a movie about global warming, and MAGA and the right hate it, are you going to decide that that movie is a bad movie because you don't agree that global warming is a problem or that pacifism is the right opinion to have? How far are we going to go here? As I say, when I was growing up, right, my dad worked for the BBC. He dragged us all to Hollywood, California, got a job for a studio in Hollywood, and we'd spent some time. So I grew up around this industry. I grew up around people and their artistic expression. It was explained to me and taught to me at a young age, and I respect it. And I respect Maggie's right, or anyone's right, to have their own artistic expression. And if we shut it down because it hurts our precious feelings, we're just as bad as the people trying to shut down freedom of speech on social media. You can't be crying, excuse me, you can't be crying freedom of fucking speech, then attacking Maggie for having her freedom of speech in her art and her artistic expression. But if you don't like this movie because you think it's badly made, which I don't, and it didn't entertain you and you thought the art was rubbish and you thought it was shot badly, you have every right to call this movie trash from your own point of view. But that's not why most of you are calling this movie trash. You're calling this movie trash because you don't agree with the commentary. And this is the culture and society we live in today. How can we have vibrant plays in theatres, vibrant musicals, vibrant television shows, artistic expression in our movies, when you're shutting a woman's right to have her artistic expression? This is not about women. This is about everyone. Because one day someone's going to make a movie that hurts your feelings, that's going to have commentary that hurts your feelings, and you're going to try and shut it down. So the example of what's happening to Maggie's movie here could happen to your movie, to your play, to your song, just because people don't like the commentary. We know that Hollywood is very anti-male. It's very extreme left and it's very third wave feminist. But now I'm going to have to educate you because I mix in these circles. I grew up around Hollywood folk, and I'm going to explain to you why a lot of these girls and a lot of these women hate men. They don't mix with mostly ordinary guys. Their experience of men and lads and boys are from the entertainment industry. Around 75% of those men enact illicit behaviour. They touch them. They touch these girls when they don't want to be touched, either when they're underage or when they're older. They harass them. They rape them. That is these girls' experience of men. So they think all men are like that. So they're fighting a war because a lot of these girls were abused and molested as children. This is what you've got to remember, everyone. It's vital and pivotal that you actually understand why these girls hate us. But they don't really hate us, they don't know us, they think we're all the same. Because most of their experiences are bad experiences from men. Most of the men they know in this industry are terrible fucking men. So imagine if you're a girl and you were abused as a little girl. Imagine if you were raped as an older girl. Their experiences are this bad. Now, I don't know if Maggie Gyllenhaal's ever been through any of that. But if she has, or her friends have, you can understand the commentary in this movie. This is not a personal attack on me or you. This is really serious commentary about what's still going on in Hollywood. Forget Me Too, forget Time's Up, because that's basically been ineffective. It hasn't targeted enough people, or in my opinion, a lot of the right people. So this is why these girls hate us. This is why Kristen Stewart is always talking anti-male. And even I'm triggered by that sometimes and say stuff. I can't help it. I'm only a human being. Because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't stare at women. I don't even chat at women when I'm out in my nightclub. I look at the floor, so I don't stare at them and make them feel uncomfortable. right? Sometimes you see a beautiful woman and you want to look, but I resist the urge because I'm a gentleman and I have self-control, right? And I don't want to make women feel uncomfortable, right? The times have changed today. But this is why these films, why a lot of these films have these commentaries in them. Because a lot of these girls, from the time they're children, are abused. You know, these men are coming after them. And this is the problem, and this is why they hate men. It's important you understand that. But I'm still going to have to go back to the point that somebody's artistic expression, freedom of speech, is the same as your freedom of speech on X or on Instagram or whatever social media platform you go on. You want your freedom of speech. Maggie Gyllenhaal and other directors deserve theirs. But there's something else I want to say before I finish this video. I've been criticising New Hollywood for giving famous actresses directorial gigs and not approaching, female film school graduates and giving them the same opportunities. And this is what happens when you give women from within the industry, from the family business, opportunities, but you don't give young women from outside the industry the same opportunities, because a female film school graduate is going to be fresh. It's going to be inspired to tell more positive stories. But women like Maggie, who have probably experienced stuff, and their female friends have experienced a lot of abuse from men within the industry, are going to be industry weary and angry. And as soon as they get a chance to tell a story, it's going to be a negative one like this. It's going to have very hardcore negative commentary because, my friends, these girls have had enough. I'll see you again tomorrow.